how do you set up your Squarespace design so that it follows the Figma prototype exactly? So in this video, I'm going to show you how you go from a concept in Figma to a developed page in Squarespace. I'm a Squarespace template designer, and sometimes instead of developing the whole template, I would just have an idea and draw just several sections of that template in Figma to kind of nail down the fonts, the colors, the style, and the vibe, and let it sit for a while. So I have pretty much dozens of undeveloped design ideas in my Figma account. So I decided to turn one of those ideas into a developed page for you to kind of illustrate the creative process behind it. Hi, I'm Olga. I run Applet Studio. It's a Squarespace template shop. I also develop custom sites for clients and teach web designers and creative business owners on how to build businesses like mine. Let's get into it. Here's a template prototype we're going to be developing. So it has the nice, cute divider lines and drop shadow button. And I'm wondering if I'll be able to pull off these elements in Squarespace. Use the default tool for that. Nice gradient. And I love this prototype because it uses my brand colors. So let's get into it. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to export as many of the elements as possible to be reused in Squarespace. So for example, I'm going to press Command G to group this and Option to duplicate it. I duplicated the images and I duplicated the logo. And we'll see what we can do with the rest of the elements. So let me save these, export these. I'm gonna export this into a new folder in Downloads. Gonna name it Girl Talk. Logo. I'll remove the stroke from this image and from this image, and I will really make them a little bigger, like so, and I will export them. So ideally, I would name them for SEO, but I'm gonna just name them image 1 and image 2 for the sake of this tutorial. And a mockup of our imagined freebie. So these are the colors that I'm gonna use. As you can see, I have 2 neutral colors and I have a highlight color, and this is the black. And the white color is kind of default. But let me also show it in a palette. So the font that I have here is Butler, but I'm gonna supplement it with a font that's already there in Squarespace. And the second font, the paragraph font, is Poppins, but it can be anything neutral, like a neutral sans serif. So it doesn't have to be Poppins exactly to recreate this vibe. Okay, let's go back to Squarespace and create a new site. Let me start with a blank template. If you're not starting from scratch, if you like starting from one of the default templates, you would just delete everything that's in the template. The first thing that I like to do when I start a new site, I will go into settings and domains, and we'll change the default domain to something more readable, like Girl Talk. Girl Talk by Applet. And then also set up password protection. So it's under site availability, private, password protected, and put a password that says demo. Now let's start adding pages. So we have our homepage. And first we're gonna organize the menu. So we have about, coaching, programs, and podcasts. You could add, so I'm gonna move the home to not linked and just create links instead of pages for now. About, coaching, programs, and podcasts. Another link, programs, and podcasts. The last one. About, coaching, programs, and podcast. And the contact is going to be a button at the top here. So now that's done, let's go to styles and tweak some things. Well, let's edit the palette. So the first color that I'm going to apply is a highlight. My highlight, and then the neutral color is going to be the color that's used the most. So this beige, neutral beige background, white off color is going to be this one. Well, actually, I changed my mind. Let me make white this color, and then I'm gonna apply blue here. And then the dark highlight is supposed to be dark, but I'm gonna use this pinky color for the dark highlights. All right, and then the fonts. The fonts are gonna be, well, we can actually upload the butler. Why don't we do that here? Where? This is butler regular. Light, medium. Let's use this one, okay. Now I have my butler font enabled here, and I'm gonna use it for headings. And I'm gonna use bullpens for paragraphs. This is glitchy, and it's still kind of uploading the fonts, so it took it a while to upload this font here. So next thing is I'm gonna start tweaking the fonts a little bit. So I'm gonna headings, I'm gonna apply uppercase. And as you can see, I don't have any letter spacing here. So uppercase. And for the paragraphs, I'm gonna probably use a lighter version. We'll tweak the menu font. So it's under fonts, assign styles, site navigation, paragraph. So instead of paragraph, I'm gonna use custom, uppercase, custom size, 0.9 rem, and some letter spacing. Probably a bigger weight. It's 14. So yeah, that's the appropriate size. So next, let's go and rewrite the header. World Talk. And upload our logo. Yes. Go upload it and now edit the design and put the logo at the center. Spacing, height. Tweak the height. Go back here, make the logo a little bigger. Or even bigger. Go back to design and make the height smaller. Color, not adaptive, solid, theme, and a light one. Also, let's add a border. So border at the top and at the bottom, and let's make it super thin, like 1 pixel, just like our prototype. And then also add some elements. We need a button. And the button is gonna say contact. Link. Just add some link. Contact. As you can see, our button style is different from what we have here, and it's a different font. So let me tweak this header button. It's under buttons. Tweak the button. Use pop-ins. Uppercase. So usually I like the button to have the same size as the menu. So it needs to be uppercase. This is a primary button. Under assign styles is our header button. Header button. Case. Letter space. Okay, let's see. It also has a border. So the border is applied under the buttons. So we're gonna also tweak this button to great. This is where we change the padding, outline 1 pixel, and the outline needs to be dark. So I'm gonna click apply to all button styles, and we'll go back and edit the color. So under light 1 color theme, I have the buttons. It looks like I cannot, out of the box, I cannot apply like a different color of the outline. So I might need to do that with CSS. So for now, I think I'm gonna remove the outline. Just for now. Just for the header, for the primary button. So I remove the outline. So now let's go back here, edit design, and go back to border, and just have the border at the bottom and at the top with 1 pixel thickness. We also have an announcement bar here, which creates this nice layered effect. So that we can go back and enable the announcement bar. It's under the marketing tools. Enable the announcement bar. it needs to have this text. And the color is wrong, so let's fix that. So under colors, light 1, and look for announcement bar. Text is dark, and I wanted to have a proper style, so it's under the fonts, assign styles. If you can't find anything, you can click Command F and just look for it. So here it is, announcement bars, paragraph. Let me do something different. So I'm gonna go back to set styles, fonts, and added the miscellaneous. So miscellaneous is Helvetica. I want it to be Poppins, and I want it to be the exact style that I have for my button and for my hero, like for my header links. So it's Poppins 500 with some letter spacing, uppercase, like so. So I cannot see it now because I have to apply it. So I'm going to go back to fonts, assign styles, announcement bar, and pick the default style as miscellaneous. It's a little too big, so let me go back and fix it. Under miscellaneous, hair spacing. So it's roughly the same. All right, that's done. Now let's see what I can do in terms of this hero area. Hero area is colorful. It has the gradient. It has these elements. Maybe I can move them around so I can use them creatively in Squarespace, or maybe I can just export them here and use them as a background image. So first things first, let me add the headline. Okay, I'm gonna add a blank screen, and I'm gonna start by adding a headline to go into the H1. Business coach, Katie. So this is going to be paragraph 3. And I need to add this image. So let's add an image block, place it like so, and add our image, which we have exported already. This text will go under a shape. So let's add a shape below it. Putting it all back, and this is gonna have and no button here. All right. So under site styles, I'm gonna make the headline heading 1 smaller. Also tweak the line height. And also I'm going to apply a little trick. So I'm gonna copy this code snippet. You can download it below this video. and we'll paste it to CSS, to custom CSS. So under custom code, custom CSS, we're gonna tweak the typography. So what this snippet does, it makes the shapes of the headlines better, more balanced. Maybe let's try balance. Yep, so right now it looks exactly as our prototype. All right. And I'm going to copy yet another snippet that I just created. This is for an uppercase eyebrow copy subhead. So in order for it to apply, we gotta go back and make this part bold. Okay, for the sake of this, maybe we should do the following too. You can take this text and apply background to it. Padding large. And then this shape will become so it's gonna be transparent. Shape will be RGB. It's gonna be completely transparent, but it's gonna have a stroke. And the stroke color will be green. And the stroke thickness will be 1 pixel. I'm gonna place it at the top, like so. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the section settings and adjust the section height. And add another section below, a blank section, and also add a divider. In the design settings, add a divider and add a straight divider. Black color and thickness 1 pixel. As you can see, this is shaping up. Let me save it and look at it. So in my original idea, this shape is almost square. So let me try and recreate it before I tweak the colors. So I'm gonna align this to the bottom. And I can also tweak the gap. So my width of my site here is 1440 pixels, and of Squarespace it's responsive. So obviously, if I make my browser window smaller, like so, you will see that my original idea is like very close to it. Now I need to apply border to the image, and I don't want to do that with CSS. I'm gonna also do that with a shape. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna press Option and copy this shape and put it on top here. Move it backwards, and I will tweak the colors, make it black. So I also want to make this section dark. Because my shape right here is supposed to be black. And then I'm gonna make this white for now. And I put this back, and I wanna color this. I'm gonna add some color. And because I have these colors in my palette, so I'm gonna move it to the side for now. I can apply these colors so it's a nice colorful design. Next thing that I want to do, I want to recreate this gradient, and I also want to recreate these embellishments, these little elements, before I move down to recreating these two sections. So there are two ways to do that. I could just export this whole background and apply it below, but I know Squarespace has some new cool features and capabilities, so let me try and do that by changing the background. So as you can see, we have an option to have an image as the background, and so far we just have the default background color, which we applied through color themes. And when we go back to background, we have an option to apply art. And we have some pre-made things here. So let's say this one looks very much like what we have here, but we have to tweak it. So like if we randomize it, we can try just coming up with some random, or we can go ahead and invert the colors, shape and size, start position, end position, angle. So let's do it at this angle, texture, complexity. So if we want just the gradient, we can do it like that. And we can tweak the start color, make it more pale, like our prototype. So it's not the exact gradient, but it's pretty close. Position and angle. So it's coming from the left to the right. Okay, and right now I'm pretty happy with it. And I'm gonna go save it and apply other elements. So we have pre-made shapes in Squarespace. If you click Add Block and Shape, as you can see, some of them are pretty close to what I have here. So I can easily swap them. Let's use this one, for example. Don't stretch it, make it pink. Doesn't quite repeat that, but pretty close. Add a star, can add. I like this element right here. Instead, if you press G, you will see the grid, and you'll see that my grid is pretty narrow here. Let me go back to site styles and see what I have. So under miscellaneous, spacing, you have a page width. So let me bump it up to 1300. See how this behaves. Well, actually, because I have all these elements around my main hero content, I might have to use like super wide layout for this and just place these elements, use the images and sheets. When I'm developing in Squarespace, I'm experimenting a lot. So let's make this 1600. Actually, change the gap. And move it down so that we have room for all of these other embellishments and elements. Now, if we test it on a bigger screen, we'll see how it responds to the responsiveness. Let me go ahead and export some of these images. I'm gonna group some of them, like these ones, them together, and export them as transparent images. Rename them, name them Swarm. To I will export all of them to my folder in PNG. Then go back here, and because I have expanded my area, I'm gonna press G and add images. The field completely. and hit save. Then the next section is going to be simpler, just an image with the text. And to kind of simplify my life, because I already have a shape here, I'm just gonna duplicate this, copy it, pressing Command C, and putting it back here. So now I'm just gonna swap the image. And add a text block. Header 2. And a button. Primer. And then the next section, so I'm gonna apply the divider here too. And the first divider that we had is gonna get copied to the rest of the dividers. So you need to only set it up once. And this section, I wanted to have the same kind of gradient. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna duplicate this section, move it down, remove all of these things. Make it smaller. An image. So by default, I like to use fill screen setting and apply consistent height. Then here I'm going to add a newsletter block. Customize the newsletter block with this copy. So I'll probably have to add some CSS to have the border lines. The design settings, let's align it to the left. Center it vertically. I still have some like extra spacing here, which I might adjust with CSS. Let me also add CSS that makes this nice drop shadow effect for the buttons. So as you can see, a lot can be done with default Squarespace options, but you need to tweak little things with CSS anyway. So it's a good idea to have a relationship with somebody who knows how to do CSS, or to join one of the plugin memberships that are out there. Now I feel like this H2 block is too big, so let me make it a little, make it smaller. Now I even feel the paragraph font is too big. I want everything to be crisp. So here's a hack. So as you can see, the spacing below the text and above the button is very inconsistent. So we need to adjust that. So here's a hack. I'm gonna align everything to the bottom, and make sure I have one line between them. So when I save and when I resize it, quite consistent. So my job is to have consistent spacing everywhere. So here below, and here needs to be the same amount. So maybe I'm gonna adjust the gap like so. That would allow me more flexibility. So also move it to the center. And I need to copy this little element. And finally, a final piece of CSS for this design is the button. I'm also going to leave it below the video, and it will drop shadow buttons. Yep, it applied to all buttons. I feel like I could adjust this button font. Stay and save. And let's go into the settings and see if we can tweak these things. So under the buttons, fonts, assign styles. Let's search for button. Header button is letter block, paragraph. Yeah, let's do miscellaneous and miscellaneous. Now that we have everything set up and obviously I only have the prototype, like little concept here. Obviously you would continue going and build out the whole page. But now let's go and tweak the mobile version. As you can see, everything is stacked. Everything is completely wrong. But here's the trick. The new version of Squarespace allows us to disable some elements on mobile. And that's really handy because we don't need all of these things. So let's keep the shape because it's a SVG and it's not going to take a lot of our power on the mobile. So on mobile, our site needs to be readable and it needs to be fast. And the fewer images and elements we have, the better. So I'm going to disable all of these extra things and keep just this shape. So I think text needs to go first. So let's put it first. Then we're going to put the image. Disable this one. I'm not going to disable this one. I'm going to reuse it. So the simplicity is the best strategy here. So on mobile, simplify everything. but leave just a couple of embellishments, like so. What I usually like to do, I would design the first section. I would apply everything that I want on mobile for this section. Again, text goes first, then goes the image, I think the centered design would look better here. So let's go back and center it. Here's another hack that I quickly wrote with ChatGPT. It's making all the buttons on mobile full width and centering the text in them. So here's the hack, and here's what it does. Also, another cool, so let's say, see, on mobile, the logo is kind of too small. We can fix it by going into the logo settings and adjusting the height on mobile to make it slightly bigger and see how it looks. Okay, we need a bigger, even bigger logo. Mobile. Yeah, that's better. Then I also like to adjust the mobile menu. So let me save this. The mobile menu is kind of too big and I want it to be smaller. So here's another little snippet for this. And I'd like to adjust the color of this area. To do it, okay, stay and save. To do it, let me go into colors, light one color theme. I always forget where this is located. I'm always digging the color options for this. Okay, finally I found where this is. So you go into the editing mode, edit site header in the mobile view, edit design and color. And now you can pick the color with a mobile view. That's how it's done. Close the menu and exit. So now it's the right color. Here's our result. And here's where we started. This is our prototype. So I'm not following the prototype 100% because sometimes it's just impossible to do in Squarespace. And you gotta treat prototype creatively, but it's very, very close to the original design. I hope this was helpful. I have a course where I teach how to create such designs in Figma and move them to Squarespace. Called Squarespace Mastery. I've been running it since 2020. It has over 700 students, so check it out below and hit me up on Instagram and let me know how it goes for you, and see you in the next video.